Welcome to Raw, the S4 Labour podcast dedicated to helping hospitality businesses thrive. With your hosts, Alastair Scott and myself, Richard Hartley. Each episode will dive into how operators can stay competitive through smarter operations, bringing you insights, some stories, and some expert guests. Whether you're managing a small restaurant or a nationwide operation, Raw is your go-to source for success. So without further ado, let's get on with the episode. It's Christmas time.
Happy
Is
Christmas.
Happy
Christmas.
Can we say that? I guess
we
weird.
can, but hospitality's a bit weird, isn't it? Because it's not like Happy Christmas. It's like, oh, this is the bloody hardest working time of the year.
I know, but it's also the most profitable.
Yeah, it is.
So kind of
it is.
make hay when the
it's
sun
not
shines.
so bad if you're in bars, is it? Because it all hits, and then actually the real Christmas is quiet.
Yeah, well, city centre bars. Yeah. Kind of. I guess you get that. We see that flux in trade, don't we? Where you've got a lot. We're already in corporate hospitality Christmas time.
Yes.
So that you kind of those. We were both in London earlier in the week, walking past venues that were bustling.
Bustling, yes, with definite Christmas dresses.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. The sparkles are out.
Yes.
But hang on, what do we want to talk about around the Christmas period? Because this is our festive podcast, our Christmas podcast.
This is about how you make sure you're ready for Christmas and really a sustained period of exceptional sales versus your norm.
Yeah, this is a little bit kind of how do you make sure your team don't burn out? Because you're going to ask more of them now over the next few weeks than you ask of them any other time of year.
And whether you're a bar or whether you're a restaurant, it's all about how do you make it easier, get ready, find as many team as you can.
Yes, it is a little bit. I mean, The last one sounds a bit daft in a way because you go, well, where am I going to find them from? But you have it up here. You have people come back from university.
It's marvellous. Right? Yes, I know. The bars will be trying to keep them wherever they're at uni until the 22nd or whenever they finish.
Yeah, typically.
And then we'll be trying to drag them in for the weekend before. So that first weekend of Christmas, we'll be going come home and they'll be going stay at uni. But that's part of the deal, isn't it?
Well, part of the deal. But I guess the point is trade will go 2 to 3 times more than what you're normally doing in the busy weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're probably, as a good example, in one of ours, if 30 grand's a normal week, then Christmas week for us is 80.
Yeah.
So, that's
a big step.
That's tough. It's not a Sunday every day, but it's certainly a good Saturday every day.
Yeah. And a lot of that's food.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's hard, it's a hard yard. It's not like, when the bars step up. Right, I'm kind of not, in no disrespect to the bars, there's a lot of wet-led stuff. And I know when I was operating in central London, you can take real volume by sort of pre-orders and the like, and pre-orders of drinks can be a lot more easily facilitated than pre-orders of food because there's still a lot of work associated.
Yeah, and I think you've got to be nailed on food. You've got to go, how do we fill the freezer?
Yes.
So, you made the point earlier about gravy. You kind of go, well, if you've got your gravy done, it's a thing you don't have to do. We
were making gallons of it. We had a site on the river in London, and literally 3 gallons full in the freezer.
Yes. So it's freeze what you can, even if it's just because you have a busier day and you run out.
Yep.
And so actually, you've got to do all of those things. We slim down our menu, so we make our menu easier for the Christmas period, so that the kitchen's productivity can increase during the Christmas period, and there's just not as much to cook.
Yeah, and because obviously we've spoken about, you'll do between 2 and 3 times volume. You're just under 3 times volume. You're not going to have 3 times the amount of hours.
No,
from the staff, you don't need that.
No,
in truth, actually, this is what why we talk about it being the most profitable time of year. And even if you wanted to have 3 times the amount of hours, you haven't got the people that could do it anyway.
Yes.
So you've got to find some efficiency and some productivity gains throughout the period.
And it must be like, in bars, about going, how do I give out bottles of wine? Because a bottle of wine is much easier to serve than 3 or 4 glasses.
Well, yeah, quite exactly that. Well, I mean, I spoke about it already a little bit, but when we used to run the high wetland areas and we'd have Christmas groups come in and reserve an area within a bar, they might have some canapes and things coming along, but you'd pre-sell all the drinks. It'd be bottles of beer, bottles of wine, because by and large, that's then taken care of. Now they might come to the bar for things that want to be done at the minute, cocktails, probably spring to mind as being the most obvious
And
thing.
would you pre-mix all your cocktails though as well?
Well, it's an interesting transition I think the industry is seeing now. I guess kind of probably depends on where you sit in the marketplace, in truth. But we are absolutely seeing draft cocktails. We're seeing canned cocktails. A little bit of theatre alongside that, so it might be a can decanted into a shaker. So you've got some sort. I think people want a bit of theatre when they order a cocktail, but you're not then relying on a huge skill base. You need to know how to craft a cocktail, and equally you're being highly efficient. Now I kind of take that through the varying sort of different mechanics of what you might like to do in varying cocktails. I think your high end sort of top cocktail bars are going to make everything to order because that's just what they pride themselves on. But certainly you'll see sort of a load of places doing stuff at volume and pre-mixing a Negroni. Yeah, doesn't do anything to the quality. Actually, a lot of people think it enhances it.
I like a Negroni.
They're coming on. They're coming in a big way in the last sort of 12 months, I'd have said.
Yeah, I prefer a slow Negroni, but anyway,
we're getting distracted. That's time of year. Perfect time of year for a slow Negroni.
Yes. So in effect, we're going, how do you prep either a long time in advance or even in advance of the session?
Yes.
Which is really important. We're going, how do you recruit and find team, wherever they are?
Yeah.
And certainly that's important. And how do you make everything easier?
Well, I think let's just touch on the team bit a bit further, because you're not going to recruit as many as you might like to be able to. And even if you could, you wouldn't be able to train them, etc. So you've got to look after them as well. You've got to think about the hours you're asking them to do, whether they're finishing and then opening the next day, kind of what their working week looks like and how you get the balance of that sustained. So we talk about writing rotas in November.
Yeah.
And pretty much, might not know the exact minutiae of the detail of what you're going to do every day, when you're going to be busy already.
And also I make the point, and we try and do it, is to not just write the rotas for December, also write the rotas for January.
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
because you've got to remind people that they're not going to get that many hours in Jan. Yeah. And we actually close. So we close for one for 3 days and the other for 3 days. Partly to do the difficult jobs, and partly because we're going to make a thumping loss on those 3 days.
So why not?
Yes.
But I think that two good points there. One, the team will be able to get plenty of rest in January.
Yeah.
They're not going to earn a huge amount. Yeah. Because the reality is the business just isn't there. So make hay while the sun shines.
Yes.
Do the hours in the Christmas period. Understand that it is going to be sustained and long. But
there is an end to it.
There's an end to it.
There's an end to it. If you're in bars, it's a bit earlier. If you're in village pubs like we are now, then it's it's when everyone goes back to school.
Quite. And then there's the motivation side. I mean, I remember walking around with a sack of sweets for most of December around London, just distributing it, thanking people, praising people, doing what you could to help.
Well, it's lovely, and I think that motivational bit is so important. In fact, I was just emailing somebody this morning who said they can't meet for a drink because they're working in the kitchen, and I had to actually admire them for them getting stuck in and demonstrating that they are prepared and want to be part of the team during that Christmas period. And it's all about how you help. I'd probably get in the way, but you kind of go, but if you can help and be part of it, that is incredibly motivational for a lot of the team and makes the difference.
Even if it's just a couple of hours in glass wash. Doing your stint.
Yeah, I can maybe just about cope with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is fascinating though, because I think over the Christmas period, one day's going to go wrong. You're going to have a day that things just don't work out as you hope to. You'll have overcooked it and the bookings front, or a supplier will have let you down, or something will happen.
Yes.
So you've got to kind of expect to have that.
Expect to have it. Better to plan for the worst and hope for the best. And I think it's a really good point. The other thing we try and do is go, this is the maximum covers we will do, because where you fall over typically is where customers keep coming you didn't expect, and you fall over because of it. And it's really hard to do. I always want to take those extra sales, but there's a point where you should go, no, actually, at this many covers, we can't do any more that day. We're just not ready for it. We haven't got the team, we haven't got the food, we haven't got the kitchen team, and it will
Won't be
fall
good
over
enough.
for the next day.
Yeah, and your reputation, right? So you've
Yes.
got to be people who go, oh, well, we went and it wasn't.
Yes.
And that's not
Yeah.
what you need. That's
Yeah.
not
And in
sustainable.
bars, normally it's actually your door capacity, isn't it?
Well, and there's all of that as well.
Mm.
Yeah. So we've spoken a bit about the prep. We've spoken about looking after the team. I kind of wanted also to touch on how your business runs a bit more differently. I remember we used to hire in trestle tables. We'd had that many covers that we were doing. We'd sort of start Christmas dinners at 11:30, 11:45 sometimes, and then have it
And that's
almost
if you
through
want
the day.
people to sit down, and then at the other end of it is how do you remove all the tables?
So you can have a bit of a party.
Because I just want a party,
Yeah.
and I want to pack people in,
No, quite.
and I can get 6 people where a table of 2 was.
Well, that was all bar one, wasn't
Yes,
it? Yeah, all bar
yes.
one, Brindley Pace. We
Yes,
we were,
and Leicester Square. Leicester Square, we should take them out every week. Yes. But actually, they're quite important things to do. If you're going to go, I'm going to have a busy bar now, get rid of the tables.
You've got to
Put them
transition
somewhere.
You're operating a different business, and you've got a unique opportunity for a few weeks of the year to make more money than you do at any other time. So don't hold yourself back. Don't not do the brave things.
And actually, the point about doing this now is to say there is still time to do all those things.
There is.
The time is not lost to do all those things, and just go pick one of them, do it,
and make the most of the festive period.
Yeah, have fun. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share with your colleagues. You can also follow S4 Labour on LinkedIn for updates and additional content. If you have any questions or like to get in touch, you can reach us at hello@s4labor.co.uk or visit www.s4labor.co.uk. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.